Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production.
Roll sound.
Rolling.
Sound production. Take 2.
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. Remember those childhood movies you loved? Now, we're going to watch them again and find out if they're still as amazing as you remember. Or, your father was right. You were an idiot, and everything you watched was stupid. So buckle up, movie aficionados. Over-the-top gore? Check. Over-embellished action? Check. Gratuitous nudity? Double check. Storylines so absurd you could drive a semi-truck through those plot holes. Oh yeah, some of those movies didn't even know what a movie plot was. And that's the way we liked it. Now, here's your hosts, Anna Santos and Jimmy Coates.
Yay!
Woo!
Welcome to the I Remember Liking That Movie podcast. We are in 1986.
Yes, we are.
All right, let's talk about Wildcats before we get into anything too serious. What do you think the budget was?
I'd say like 8 million.
All right, let's take a look.
Can't have been much. It can't.
15 million.
Oh,
I wonder how much Goldie Hawn cost, because Goldie Hawn was, for those listening, Goldie Hawn was huge.
she
In the
was
80s
huge.
and early 90s.
But
And I mean, she's been popular in the 60s, 70s, like with Laugh-In and all that.
I think she might have been a producer on this though,
Hmm.
because I saw her name. It was like a Han something production, and I was like, oh, was she a producer on this? And then I got very distracted during the final credits, because of the song. So
Oh, yeah, we'll get there. That was awesome. In all the bad it was
It was
so
the
bad, but
best.
in
It
all
was
the
so
right
good.
ways.
it was so good.
Nothing says there was between I think 84 and 87, a lot of movies did the rap
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
pertained to the actual movie, like Police Academy 4, Nightmare on Elm Street, like the Fat Boys made a rap song about Freddy. Yeah.
Yeah, the rap was definitely gaining legs
Yeah.
at that time.
Revenge of the
becoming
Nerds
way
2
more
did it.
mainstream. So I think that was like a big thing. Sorry, I'm readjusting myself.
So on a budget of 15 million, it's domestic and it had no international of
Mm.
$26.2 million. So it probably squeaked out with a little bit of a profit back in
Yeah.
86.
That's definitely profit worthy. Now, how big that profit was is a whole nother story, but I mean, there was profit.
And it had an opening of 5 million, just over $5.4 million on February. Not a great time to release it, but it came out at number 4, just over 1,000 theaters. It was behind number 1, Down and Out in Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The color purple.
Oh, yeah.
Oh God, Delta Force beat it. But it did beat Out of Africa. Out of Africa has been out for a while. Murphy's Romance, Quicksilver, FX, Young Blood, Hannah and Her Sisters, and Nightmare on Elm Street 2, Freddy's Revenge.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it opened up at number 4, went up to number 2 in its second weekend, surprisingly, and made just over $4 million. Then dropped to 6 and 6 and 8. So it had an all right run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty decent run.
All right, let's see. Now, what do we think? I don't think critics were kind to this movie. I'm just gonna guess.
I would also agree that critics were not kind. Because I'm not going to be over. This is a weird movie for me. I want to be clear. This is a weird movie for me.
Yes, I didn't hate this movie,
No, and
but it's
left
not
me
a
with
good movie.
no. It's not a good movie. It
No.
left me with a warm fuzzy feeling deep in my
Yes.
heart at the end of it.
Well,
But there were parts where I kind of wanted to poke my eye out to be like, oh
with
God,
Goldie Hawn left me a feeling in my pants.
can you not?
She's so hot.
She is somebody's grandmother.
I know, yeah, but not in 1986. She was.
No, she was super hot. Although I will tell you, like, this is terrible, but I was so distracted because
By
I
her
was like,
booty
girl,
shorts.
no, by
Oh.
her breasts.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
there were
they.
a lot of very okay. Bye, Jimmy. You don't
Oh,
want to be
what
here no
happened
more. You just went
Hold on.
green screen. Hi.
There we go. Is that better?
Yeah. There. Excuse me. There were a lot of very
What are we
thin
doing?
t-shirts,
Gremlins 3 here? The fuck?
and it's Gremlins again. They're getting into it.
Sorry. Yeah, she didn't wear
yeah.
any bras in this movie.
She did, but
None.
she is not a bra
Bless her heart.
wearer in general.
No.
Like every time you see her out, she is not wearing a bra. And Godspeed. But I was so distracted because literally all I could think, and maybe this is my Catholic high school upbringing and my Catholic elementary school upbringing. I'm like, girl, you're going to school without a bra on? Like that was all I could think. She looked super cute and her boobs are amazing. But I was like, girl, I'm
Yeah.
so distracted because you're just all running endlessly on a track without a bra. I'm like, isn't that hurting? Like,
See, I said the same thing, but I think our tones are different.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm
no.
like, yeah, she's going to school with no bras on. Look at those booty. I could have watched her run around those booty shorts for the entire what legs?
Very distracted, but that's also because like I developed fairly early. So I've been wearing a bra since I was like 11, like a real bra.
Should have
So
Goldie Hawned it.
no, man, I could never, never.
She does have, like, let's say, like, she does have the perfect titties, breasts, whatever you want to call them, where she doesn't have to. They're not.
Mm-mm.
They're like, I'm pretty sure they're probably just as perky today as they were back in 1986.
I
Like they're that
100%
size.
believe that. She's in incredible shape right now. Like she is somebody's grandmother though. So I feel kind of dirty talking about her boobs.
Not me.
But it was a little because all I could think was you're a teacher at a school and you're not wearing a bra. Like that was all I could think. And it was terrible. And I feel bad for that. Because I'm like, oh girl, like you don't need it. Feel comfortable. That's beautiful. That's freeing. But at the same time, like all of my conservative Catholic upbringing just kind of bubbled to the top. That was terrible.
No, that Kurt Russell's a lucky man.
He's a very lucky man, and I'm sure
Actually,
he knows it.
Such a Kurt Russell fan. That Goldie
He's pretty
Hawn's
cool.
a lucky girl.
Honestly, they lucked out with each other.
Yeah.
They love each other, and they've kept loving each other, and it's amazing.
All right, let's see. I don't think they were kind to this movie, but let's.
I don't
take
think
a
they were
look.
kind to this movie either.
No, they weren't. Out of 20 reviews, it comes in at 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Just over 5,000. Audience score comes at 49. So just a little less than half the people that watched this movie and rated it did not like it.
Okay, but I will say that there are only 20 reviews.
Yes, there is only 20 reviews.
It's a very small sample size. So I feel like that's a little unfair.
You can start with the good ones. I will look for the bad ones for this one.
Okay. Wildcats doesn't reach its potential, but it's mild entertainment for those hunting for something that's easy on the senses. That's from Brian Orndorff at Blu-ray.com. His original score is B-.
Instead of believe in yourself, the message becomes simply make believe. Time out. Just didn't like it. No score.
As they say in the game, this one moves the chains. This is an underappreciated, often misunderstood, and wildly feminist Courtney Howard, awfj.org, and there's no score.
Wildcats is about how spunky Han is and how cute it's supposed to be that this little woman can make all those great big football players do what she says. 1.5 out of 4. Roger Ebert.
Familiar territory that is, for the most part, employed to compulsively watchable effect. David Nusser, Real Film Reviews, original score 3 out of 4.
Silly, but not always funny. 1.5 out of 4. TV Guide.
And I think I'm about to hit the
the end of it of your positive ones.
Yeah. This is the last positive one with words. There's a positive one with. Oh no, I have 2. So this one is Widget Walls from needcoffee.com. Second best football flick ever made. Original score 4 out of 5.
What year was that?
He made that decision in 2002.
Oh, there's more than that.
100%. 100%. Widget has not watched enough football movies.
No,
I'm gonna
watch
say.
2 of them. This was the second best one.
Valid.
Goldie coaches Goldie coaches the high school football team. Jockstrap humor. 2 out of 5. Steve Crum, the Kansas City Kansan.
And here's the final good review. Susie Kurtz manages an understated yet thoroughly engaging performance, one that makes you wish Hollywood would be smart enough to give this woman a lead role once in a while. And that's from Kathy Mayo from Sojourner. No review, no score. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
it.
Well, Wildcats on IMDb has over 15,000 user reviews, and actually it's a little kinder. It comes at 6.1 out of 10.
I'm telling you, man, it's the numbers. It's the numbers.
Yeah. I will start with 10. Oh no, I did 10. Did I do 10 last time? Can't remember.
I think you did, because I think I read the ones.
Yeah. So you go ahead with 10.
I'll start with 10. Before there were the replacements, there were the Wildcats. 10 out of 10 from H. Calderon 1.
All Love for Goldie Hawn. 9 out of 10. Standard Bearer.
Apparently there's only one 8 out of 10, and it's one of the better sports comedies from the 1980s. I. Jones 3, I guess. Interesting name.
Predictably entertaining. Jay Haggerder. 7 out of 10.
I love this one. Standard white savior movie with a side of sexism. 6 out of 10 from Snoopy Style.
Oh, we've done
And valid.
Snoopy Style, yeah. 5 out of 10. Udegard 14. So where's the comedy?
Sorry, this one actually speaks to my heart. Half the movie is montages to unknown repetitive music. 4 out of 10. Smoky, smoky, smoky.
Yeah. And there are no 3 out of 10s.
Oh. There are two out of 10s. And the Missed Wide Left from View and Review. And I feel like I should read the second one because it's corny from Kenya Ikofi.
There is only one out of 10, and it is from Brooks Rob 1. The 80s, the cringe years. 1 out of 10.
I'm not going to lie. One of my notes actually said this is super cringe.
There's some cringe moments. Not as politically incorrect as I was hoping for.
There's quite a bit of politically incorrect, but if you put it in the time frame of the 80s, you're like, yeah, sounds about right.
But nothing that was like, ooh. Well, maybe I'm missing something. I'm white.
The amount of sexism.
Yes. Okay. I did make a note. Yes. Misogyny
disrespect.
out the like coming out of the ears, like of misogynistic.
My God, so much.
But that was crucial for the plot. They had to have that for the plot. I'm talking about good old fashioned politically incorrectness just to be politically incorrect.
Oh yeah, just to be politically incorrect. There's none of that. Like there's the
misogyny. Yeah,
misogyny.
There's a big fat
but I
layer
feel
of
like
that
sometimes it took it too far. Like if my colleague is tapping my ass
that was awesome.
while calling me babes.
That guy was awesome.
He
plays such a good douche in every movie he does too.
He's an incredible douchebag. We appreciate the douchebag. But at the same time, I'm like, sir, I'm going to tell you right now.
Caricature.
It was caricature like. Like it was so over the top. Because I was like, dude, I'm pretty sure that could still, but I was like, could it really get you fired? In 1986, maybe not. Because that was still the point where they were like, oh, that's just the way they talk. No, it's not. I would have gotten fired and put in prison because I would have been punching people left, right, and center.
Yeah. Let's take a look at the poster again. It's a great poster.
It is. It's a good poster.
Fantastic poster. And for those listening, it's just like the basic stars of the movie, the football team, and Goldie Hawn kind of crushed in there off to the side. Goldie Hawn, Wildcats, very simple. They're all on the ground, like a pyramid type thing. But yeah, no, it's a great poster. Yeah. If I like the movie more, this would be a great poster for your
honestly,
movie room or whatever.
I
But I didn't like
really
the movie that much, so I will not buy this poster.
see. I would buy the poster even if I didn't really like the movie that
Actually,
much. It's a
because of
super
Wesley
great
Snipes and
poster.
Woody Harrelson and Goldie Hawn, yeah, it
Yeah.
is a great poster.
It's a fantastic poster. So I'm like, the poster, yes. Would I watch the movie over and over again? Probably not.
No, and we'll get to why. Okay, so what am I forgetting? We looked at the poster. It was rated R, obviously, but did you not feel it deserved its R rating? But it didn't
Yeah.
feel
It didn't
overly
feel R-rated.
R-rated. A lot of fucks in there, a lot of motherfuckers.
There
But
were
it's still,
boobies.
and there were boobies. Wesley Snipes' cock. It was it.
There's a lot of stuff.
but it didn't feel
It didn't feel dirty.
R-rated. Yeah, no, it didn't feel
Yeah.
dirty, which is weird.
It didn't feel vulgar. I
Yeah.
think that's about it. It didn't feel vulgar. There's a lot of
I can
what
see
can be
why it's rated
classified.
R. Yeah.
Yes. It's like you're like, yes, that's objectively vulgar, but it doesn't feel that way when you're watching it, which I
Yeah.
think is a really interesting phenomena. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, wow, you
it's
guys managed to make this really gross, but not feel like
yeah,
not have
but
you
almost
feeling
like
gross.
homey.
Yeah. Like at the
Oh,
end of
you
it, I was
see?
like, oh, that was sweet.
To see I got all of me, and I got Stripes and Uncle Buck, all 8 like
Oh my
Moonstruck and
God,
all
Uncle
80s,
Buck.
all funnier than this movie. I
I
think
haven't seen Uncle Buck in
Oh,
like 15 years.
that was as a kid. That was like one of the
I
that and Great
remember
Outdoors
fucking
and
loving
Summer
that.
Rental. Just
Great
yeah,
Outdoors, I
Uncle
don't
Buck.
think I found that funny. Like I remember it being funny, but I don't remember it being like
Oh, I love that
I'm
movie.
about to
But
pee myself. Uncle Buck,
Buck
I
was like
remember.
is one of like the best family
Yeah.
films of the 80s, I think.
I think I really like it when families are just a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that's my
Yeah,
favorite kind of
and
family movie.
Weekend at Bernie's. I think I'd rather watch Weekend at Bernie's again than Wildcats.
You're like, I bought that. I'm gonna display it.
Yeah, I'm gonna display it in all its
I will never
glory.
watch it again, but I will display it.
All right, so we looked at the budget, box office. We looked at I covered everything but the trailer watch. Okay, so
Yeah.
like we pre-recorded the trailer watch before we watched the movie, obviously. So let's watch that, and then when we come back, we will talk about Wildcats. Okay, I don't know why it's not.
It's not playing. I was
No,
like,
I tested it and did play.
I don't know, buddy. I am not sitting next to you. I cannot tell you why it's not working.
No, I know. Every goddamn time. Okay, hold on 1 second.
It's okay.
All right. Other than that, now sneak peek next week. We are
Yes.
going back to the 80s. We are going back to 1986 to a movie directed by Michael Ritchie. Do you know who Michael Ritchie is?
That sounds
I don't.
familiar.
Oh, he directed The Golden Child with
Okay.
Eddie Murphy, The Bad News Bears, the 1976 ones, The Island with Michael Caine and some other people about this cult that lives on an island. I remember that movie. That movie was creepy as shit. Fletch with
Oh, I
Chevy
remember
Chase.
Fletch. There we go.
Yeah, so he's done The Survivors. Yeah, and he's done Diggstown. I love Diggstown. Anyways, the movie we're watching is Wildcats.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Goldie Hawn. This was not a Jimmy pick or an Anna pick. This was a Jimmy and Anna have to pick. We actually, I think we picked this one together.
We did, yeah.
All 3 of them I would have watched. I love Goldie Hawn. She was freaking
Same.
awesome.
Well, I had forgotten Wildcats existed until I got the list and I was like, okay, yeah, Bird on a Wire, great, love that movie. Overboard, great, love that movie. Wildcats, the fuck is that? I Googled it and I was like, oh, I forgot this movie even existed.
Yeah.
So I chose it because I was like, well, obviously it's been what, 30 years since I've seen it?
This has been a while. Like a
Yeah.
while. It was around late 80s, I think. Early 90s would have been the last time I would have ever saw this movie. And it was where Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes meet. Their
Yes.
first movie together. There are a ton of people. What's the movie with not the movie, the TV show with Melissa McCarthy? She
Gilmore
married
Girls?
the cop. No, she married the cop.
No. Mike and Molly?
Mike and Molly. The mom in that TV show, she's in this.
Yeah.
Robin Lively is in this. Well, what do you remember about Wildcats? Because I don't remember a lot.
I don't remember a lot either. Here's what I remember. Goldie Hawn being adorable, coaching a football team of football players who were bigger than her. That
Yeah.
I remember. I also, there may be some kind of inappropriate, like, white girl in the hood jokes, I feel like.
Well, it's 1986, so that's
I mean-
quite possible.
Excuse me. There's probably going to be some racially insensitive stuff because, yeah. But yeah, I remember her being adorable in a very oversized Letterman's jacket and a really oversized varsity jacket, like trying to coach football of all of these guys who are way taller than her, which that's what I remember mostly.
Well, it comes in an hour and 46 minutes. I'm trying to think what it's rated.
This would probably be close to probably a PG-13.
Think so? Yeah.
I don't remember there being anything super scandalous, but I remember it being a little like a
Released
touch
February-
risque.
Released February 14th, 1986. Comedy, an hour and 46. It's rated R.
It's rated R?
It's rated
I do
R.
not remember rated R-ness.
No.
Damn it.
Now I'm kind of excited. All right, let me find the. We will watch the trailer here, and then we will make our prediction. Because I like you, I don't remember a ton of this.
I forgot
At
this movie
all.
existed. Like that's
But
how long it's been.
I love Goldie Hawn, and then you got Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. I'm like, this could be good.
Honestly, it's a pretty stacked cast.
Yeah, there are a lot of names in this. A lot of people
Yeah.
that you don't know the names, but you know the face.
There's people that you're like, oh shit, right. Oh.
All right, so let's watch this.
Molly McGrath always knew what she wanted.
Hey, you want to coach football? Fine, you got it. At Central High.
Her team, the Wildcats.
Ready to play, coach?
Do you want to play football?
Yeah,
Don't wear yourselves out.
You want to get rid of me?
absolutely.
You're in training as of right now. Put that out.
You think a woman can't be tough enough?
Watch me.
Forgot my purse.
No, I don't intend to coach a bunch of losers.
And how'd your folks let you get like this? He probably ate his folks.
Your mama said you ugly. Hey! From here on out, I call the shot.
Tell him what to do.
Win, you turkey!
All right. How are you enjoying the game thus far?
All right! You make this point, and every girl in the free world will want you.
You being humiliated out there. Get out of my face!
Goldie Hawn,
Are you sure I'm the right person for this job?
Wildcats. Football had it coming.
It's like watching the trailer for Criminal. What is it? Criminal Minds? No, not Criminal Minds. Michelle Pfeiffer, Coolio,
Oh, Dangerous Minds.
Dangerous Minds.
Well, I love the description. It's like is following her dreams when she quits her cushy girls track coaching position at Prescott High to become the boys football coach at Inner City Central High. I was like, no, we're really setting it up to this ought to be fun.
Yeah. Another Bad News Bears, Major League. It looks
Yeah.
funny though. Like it looks 80s,
It looks so 80s, and I
which is
can't
great.
wait.
Yeah. One thing I've like, especially when it comes to sports, 80s, 90s doesn't matter. They're pretty. We've got a pretty good track record with our
I
sports
love
movies.
sports movies in general. Like it's hard for me to find a sports movie I don't like, which is impressive because there are lots of movies I don't like. But yeah, I'm excited to watch it, and I do love Goldie Hawn, and the cast is freaking ridiculous.
Yeah, there are a lot of familiar faces there.
Yes.
All right, so that's next week. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like it. I think it's gonna
I
be
think
fun.
so too.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
I'm
think
gonna
it's
like
gonna
it
be,
too.
award winning or anything, but
I
it'll
think
be
there will
fun.
probably be some very 1980s dialogue that may not be
That's one of the
super appropriate,
that's
but
one of the things I look forward to most. You can hear my kids, Mom, Dad's being racist again. Just laughing at my fucking stupid 80s movies.
you're like, I'm not being racist. I'm
No,
just enjoying the racism.
I'm just enjoying the racism. There's a big difference, honey.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Delicious things to eat.
The popcorn can't be beat. The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candy. So let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
And now, on with the show.
I can hear you.
Yay!
Yay!
Okay, so you watch Wildcats. I watch Wildcats. What's your initial thoughts?
Not the greatest movie, but it did leave me feeling warm and fuzzy, like all really good underdog overcoming the odds, like sports movies. So, I mean, not terrible, but not the greatest thing I've ever seen.
No, this was not a good movie. I didn't hate it. It had three things going for it: nostalgia.
Yes, 100%.
This movie couldn't be more 80s if it tried. And Goldie Hawn's charm.
Yes. She was really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I was frustrated with her character, but she was really fun to watch.
Yeah. And that's what, like, Goldie Hawn's a very attractive woman, but super talented. Like, she could be the girl next door. She could be a bitch. She could be sexy. She could be mean. Like, she's a very talented actress. And yeah, and that's why I'm guessing why she starred in so many movies in the 80s and early 90s. Yeah. So let's go over this. The plot is almost non-existent. So I'll read it and then we'll talk about the movie.
Okay.
And I really don't know why some people have a problem with the 80s. Like, oh, they're so politically incorrect. Oh, they're so sexist. This movie practically invented DEI. Sorry, DEI.
It did not.
It had Latino kids, black kids, white kids. Sorry, Asians, you guys just didn't know how to play football in the 80s, evidently. So, and yeah, this movie could be more 80s if it tried. Like every 80s.
It's so like it really is. It's filled with all of the stereotypes.
Every
like
stereotype.
Racial stereotypes, sexist stereotypes, like all the stereotypes are in it.
Yeah.
And they're just proudly flaunting it.
Yeah, and like I said, you got to see Goldie Hawn's boobies, got to see Wesley Snipes pee. So yeah, lots of fucks, inner city turmoil. And what a shithole of a high school. Oh my God. Like
I tell you. I was like, dude, that place should be condemned.
Yeah. I expected Jim Belushi to show up from The Principal with his motorbike and baseball bat.
Right? I was like, guys, I know it's supposed to be a rough school, but you can rough school it without it looking like it's about to fall down, or
Yeah.
it's been abandoned. That it looks more like it was abandoned than anything else
Yep.
all the time.
All right. So let's where are we here? I just gotta find it here. Yeah, I had fun watching it.
I had fun watching most of it.
Most of it, but like I said, it's not a good movie.
No.
And the bucket loads of actors that are in this movie. Oh my god.
There are so many.
Like Robin Lively. I didn't
Yes.
know was Blake Lively's sister.
That is Blake Lively's sister, if I'm not mistaken. It's a
Older sister.
Much older.
Yeah. Swoozie Kurtz from Mike and Molly, but my god, I think she got better looking as she aged. She played the sister, right? Verna?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she does.
Jan Hooks from SNL.
Yes. When she
Nip-
showed up, mind you, she was also Carlene on Designing Women.
Yes. And
first time I
Nipsey
saw her.
Russell, the principal.
Yes.
Bruce McGill, who played the
douchebag coach.
Douchebag coach.
Mhm.
Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson.
George Weiner.
George Weiner. Yeah, just James Keach, who played the
Mhm.
husband. Yeah, it's a lot of familiar faces in this movie. All right, let me read this and then
Yeah.
we'll actually talk about it because it's really short. Molly McGrath is the daughter of a famed football coach who is dying to head her own team. When her wish is finally granted, Molly leaves her job coaching girls track at an affluent high school, Prescott High, to take over a football team at inner city Chicago high school, Central High, the kind of place where guard dogs are needed to patrol the campus. At first, the new coach's idealism and optimism are suffocated with racial and gender prejudice, but eventually her overriding spirit begins to whip her unruly team into shape. After noticing every practice of the game, Molly hustles teenage criminal and former star football player Lavender Bird Williams into rejoining the team, which helps build rapport among the team. She also adds a massive and comedic Philip Finch to the team. At the same time, she must also struggle to win a battle for the custody of her two young daughters. The real test for Molly comes when her Central High team faces Prescott's at the city championship. Where did I go? Am I here?
You're here. I
Oh.
see you.
My thing
I
keeps-
hear you.
Okay. That's it. That's our movie.
Also, it's lavender. Emphasis on this.
What I say? Lavender.
Lavender. It's lavender.
Good old lavender.
That was actually probably because every time she said his name afterwards, I was like, "You're not putting enough emphasis on the Vander."
Okay, so that was that's the movie in short. It is pretty predictable.
100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. You knew what was going to happen.
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about some of the notes that I made. Goldie Hawn in booty shorts. Could have watched it all. That she could have wore that.
Let's
whole
not talk
movie.
about your notes. Maybe we start with mine.
Okay.
Okay. So what I really liked is as the opening credits were going, you had the
that
home movies.
Fucking rap.
I wasn't even paying attention to that.
Oh,
Wasn't even, the opening credits, not the closing ones. The opening credits had all of the home
90s
movies.
Yeah, the home movie stuff
of her dad and Molly and Verna's dad and them playing football. So it really establishes she grew up with football. She loves football.
Yeah.
And we don't have to do the whole, here's an expository monologue where I tell you all about how much my dad loved football and how I grew up loving football. And
That
how
was
football is my
great.
life. I love that.
Even that set up the sister in the home movies helping her.
Yes.
Always
so the
being there to
sister
help her.
also knows about football. And
Yeah.
it was a family thing. And you're like, yes, beautiful. So when we finally see Molly McGrath and her sister taking the picture for the yearbook and Molly's dressed as a football player, you're like, okay, makes sense. So you're like, oh, she's already coaching. And then you find out, no, she's not.
Just track.
Just track. Girls track.
Girls track.
Girls track. Because apparently women don't know how to coach men on anything. Don't get me started. It's going to make me angry.
Because you're a woman.
The things I've had to put up with in my life because they're like, but you're a woman. And I'm like, dude, don't make me gut you because I will.
Would you rather
And-
play with Barbie? Chew your gum.
Look, I'm gonna point this out real quick, okay? Because I had a lot of Barbies growing up, but I only had one Ken. All of my Barbies were novelists, best-selling novelists, lawyers, doctors, boutique owners, CEOs. They all had careers. They all had mansions. They were all fabulous. Do you know what Ken was? He was a fucking gigolo. That's what he was. He was
Yeah, he
everybody's
was.
hoe.
Yeah,
He
he's
just
banging
went from
all those
Barbie to
Barbies.
Barbie.
When you went to sleep at night, he was banging all those
But
Barbies.
he had a studio apartment.
He
That's
didn't
what
care. He didn't give a shit. He's like,
he
yeah,
was,
look at
he
all
was
those Barbies.
lonely at night. He was lonely because they could not. Some of them were married too. I did not approve of that, but I watched a lot of soap operas when I was a kid.
Yeah, so they were banging. Yeah.
Everybody was banging everybody on soap operas, and everybody was in love with everybody else. And then everybody forgot about it and all went to the same like weddings and parties. And then a cat fight would start, and you just cut out again. I have oh, there you're back.
Yeah, I saw
Hi.
that.
But anyways, I'm just saying there were a lot of very strong women that were examples to me. Goldie Hawn and Wildcats, not the strongest of women role models to be like, you can do anything, because
she
also
tried.
the fucking men in her life sucked. All of them sucked.
Yeah, the only really positive ones were her team.
Eventually,
yeah, not the beginning.
when Wesley Snipes stopped hitting on her.
Let's talk about that quickly. At first I thought it was because I know them, and they have Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson went on to become super famous. Huge.
Yeah.
But then I'm like, oh, maybe that's why I'm noticing them a lot more. But I think in this movie, you could tell that Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes were a level above everyone else. They just had that thing, that factor, that
there were some like the guy who plays Lavander. I don't know how prolific, like he has some credits to his name, 100%. Lavander, like he was in Con Air, he was in The Final Destination, The Purge election year.
He's done. You know his face, and he's done stuff.
And you remember him in this film.
Yeah.
And the scenes that he has where it's like just him and Goldie Hawn and the two criminals.
That was a pretty funny scene.
That was, you could see he has some but for the most part, most of the guys on the team don't have the same kind of star quality or screen presence that Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes really had. And I mean, this in 1986, how old would Woody Harrelson have been?
Good question. Because this was filmed in 85.
He was 25.
He was 25 playing a high school kid.
I mean,
a lot of the high school kids in this movie did not look like they belonged in high school.
Fuck no.
But
no.
After this movie is when he nailed Cheers.
Yeah.
And that was a whole other. Yeah. And then Wesley Snipes just started a couple action movies, and then he was off to the races.
Yeah, he really hit the big screen, mostly in action.
Yeah. The odd comedy, but mostly in action.
Yeah. A lot of action.
And this was the Hood. Oh my God. And you can tell they didn't have to create it. They just went to a Chicago ghetto and filmed it.
Okay, first of all, can we not call it the ghetto? I don't like that.
The Hood?
You could call it the Hood.
Okay.
We'll do Hood. Ghetto really harkens back to other things that I don't.
Ghetto.
Look, unless you're Maya and you're singing about ghetto superstars, I don't want to hear it. No,
it's an old 50s song.
It's one of those. I don't think I've ever heard it. I've heard the word ghetto in a lot of songs, but not that particular one.
But these weren't SAG actors. I'll tell you that.
No, they were not.
These fuckers were hanging out debating on whether or not they should steal the cameras and equipment from these white people.
They did not hire extras.
No.
They were just like, guys, just set up the camera. We're just going to do a drive-by. It'll be fun.
Get ready to
put it on the dolly.
by.
Let's go. No, and God bless. Like, I'm like, okay, but they really every when they were like, no, this is a bad neighborhood, they showed every bad part of the neighborhood. And if you've ever lived in a not great neighborhood, you know there are always pockets where there's like a street or two, maybe even a few blocks.
Yeah, there's some nice part. Like there's
where
some
there's like
decent
nice
parts.
And
there's parts that you just don't go to.
Well, because I obviously grew up at like Queen and Dufferin, and the street that my house is on in the 80s was a nice working class neighborhood. Everybody's lawns were taken care of. Everybody's house was neat, painted, all of that. But if you walk down to Queen Street, you're literally walking into drug dealers, hookers, and very sketch people trying to give you rides places, and you always say no. So I mean, it can be that kind of drastic of a change in literally 10 feet. So I understand that, but I'm like, can you show me something? Like, show me the one nice apartment. Show me the apartment building that has like 2 apartments that have those little like window boxes with flowers. Because always in every rent-in apartment building, there's always a few tenants that are like, no, this is my home. I will have pride in it. I'm like, I wanted to see some of that. Instead, we just got straight like everything negative about living in a not great neighborhood. They were like, let's highlight all of this.
Yeah, I remember
dogs when the armed guard isn't there. Come on.
Yes, I remember being on King Street, being at a nice bar and wanting to go somewhere else, and we cut across and we hit Queen Street, and I was like, what the fuck happened? Where the fuck are we? Dude, is there going to be like a brawl, like a gang brawl? Graffiti everywhere. I'm like, I was just in like the nicest part of town, and now all of a sudden I'm in a fucking gangland. It's weird how quickly it can change.
Well,
I also made a note that if you're younger and you go to watch this movie, you're going to be like, what the fuck? I'm referring to the fashion 85, 86. What's the word we're using? Hood,
yes.
Black men in the hood, which included wearing shower caps to protect the Jerry curls while settles. Those silk Hawaiian shirts.
There was a lot of just like, it's almost, it's so weird because the stereotype is so strong. And I'm like, is that why? Like, when you see it in the movie, you're like, yeah, of course, this is the 80s in a city, in a not great neighborhood. And of course, that's what you're going to see. And I'm like, why is my brain working like that? There's something to unpack.
Yeah. You had a lot of white pants, overcoats accompanied with canes.
Correct.
It doesn't look today. It doesn't look intimidating. It was fucking hilarious. But if you are ever in a predicament and you have to time travel and you go back to the hood of 85, 86, and it might look ridiculous in their shower caps and their bright and bold silkness, make no mistake, they still will shoot you. They will stab you or just kick the living shit of you. So be careful. Do not judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a black person in a shower cap. He'll fuck you up.
Oh, 100%, especially if they're using a shower cap.
Yeah, if they're using a shower, stay the fuck away from them.
Now, if they're wearing a silk bonnet, you may still have a chance. You may still have a chance to run.
But if he's got a shower cap, that guy is serious
he will fuck you up.
Yeah, he's serious about his hair, and it's just a serious dude.
There's probably a deep conditioning treatment on his hair right there.
Yeah.
And he's like, we got to protect it from the elements. It was this entire, I'm like, the stereotypes were so, like, even in, because if you're really talking about the stereotypes, like even the creepy coach, he was so over the top, and like it almost felt like one of those like HR workplace harassment videos that they play.
Yes. Yeah. Here's not to do what Johnny does.
I was waiting for an HR rep to pause the video and be like, can we talk about everything that didn't go the way it appropriately in this video? Can we talk about the coach's behavior and why it's not appropriate to slap your coworker's ass? Let's talk about that. I was just like, oh my God. And then everybody's just like, oh yeah, you know what happens?
Yeah.
The fuck? Hopefully he stops calling me babes. Why don't you tell him to stop fucking calling you babes?
That's just Coach Darwell.
That's just what he does.
Here, babe. Slaps
super
her ass.
terrible. Also, I really like the misogyny where they hired the home ec teacher to coach
Yeah.
the JV team.
Has no clue about football, but they
Who has
rather
no
him.
clue about football, nothing, knows nothing about football, but he's got a dick. Therefore, he's an expert.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
Good old 80s.
Mhm.
The daughter, Lively.
Mm.
The one part that I made a note about is that she's coaching the team. They didn't win their first game, but they played well because the team really did give her a hard time. They wrecked her
Yes.
office, spray painted stuff, broke her. She got a gift from her aunt and her kids. They broke her stopwatch and everything. She loses it and challenges them to a run. If I
Yeah.
can outrun all of you, you have to listen to me. If not, I will pack my bags and go. So they did this friggin' run and she beat them.
Yeah, they
Now,
all start running. It's actually pretty funny because they're like, and she's like, steady,
yeah, just
steady as we
steady as she
go.
goes.
And she
And
beats
then
every single one of them.
none of the good players want to play with her, but there's
Mm.
going to be a game, a scrimmage or whatever. And she actually, the kids that want to learn, she teaches them some moves and they beat them at the scrimmage game.
Yep.
So as predictable as it is, they start to come together and they win their first game. And she has her daughters there, and her daughters are like, "Mom," but the mom doesn't see them,
Mm.
and she kind of ignores them. One game, one time,
Yep.
and I made a load like the daughter rebels after the mother doesn't notice her after one game.
Well, no. Wait, we should also mention that apparently she worked late once.
Oh, she worked late once.
And that
Yeah,
was
didn't
also
make
enough.
dinner. Yeah.
Yeah, she was late with dinner. Therefore, the
And she's
mother
like,
doesn't love
"I'm late
her
because I had to
anymore.
pick up fucking groceries."
It was so. I was like, come on. She didn't even say anything about my hair.
Yeah.
Girl, what? And then Goldie Hawn gives her a little talk where she's like, I'm trying to be the cool mom, okay?
Yeah.
Like,
But I do hate your hair.
I do hate your hair. I hate it so much. But I didn't want to be that mom who's all like, bah, don't do that. And I'm like, while I appreciate that, first of all, I would never have done that growing up because I'm not stupid. I wasn't suicidal. I wanted to stay alive. No way I would ever end up with purple hair in my house. Or cutting it like she did. I was like, that she cut her hair. It's short up top. What is wrong with her? But anyways, but yeah, no, I felt like that was a very quick progression, especially because
super quick.
you also this movie also establishes that the dad, Goldie Hawn's ex-husband, is a douchebag.
Yeah.
And he's very overbearing. And, she kind of shies away from like conflict with him and whatever. But she is the primary parent. And even with the first time we see him, he's like, oh, Stephanie's parents, I guess Stephanie is the girlfriend. Stephanie's parents are having a cocktail party on Sunday. So I'm going to have to drop off the girls early at like 3:30. That's fine, right? And he like just starts walking away. She's like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I'm like, so he's already establishing himself as like the douchebag dad who like when his personal plans conflict with the weekend, he's more than willing to just drop the kids back. And then the bathtub scene kind of establishes it too. But I'm sitting there and then you have Alice is the daughter's name, freaking out because mom didn't notice her after a game. Mom was late coming home to make her dinner. And she's losing her mind. And I'm
losing
like,
her mind once.
But the picture that's being painted of your parents' marriage is that the only consistent parent you've had your entire life was your mom.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie went over the top with trying to stack the odds against her. And then I was kind of like, I'm like, wow, after what happens if she didn't like notice you 2 times? Like what would what would get your waspy white parents to notice you after you dyed your hair, and that didn't work? Interracial pregnancy. Ooh, in the 80s? Wow. And if you're a teen girl living in the 80s, this goes for any ethnicity, not just white, Latino, black, interracial babies. Woo! That would get your parents.
In the 80s, a white girl who's relatively affluent from the suburbs, if you're getting knocked up with anybody, it's already scandalous.
Even a white one would be bad.
It's scandalous if Chad from your like private school geometry class knocks
but if you
up.
really want to get back at your parents,
Mix it up.
LeBron. Even if you're a black girl and you're like, "Oh, I'm pregnant." What? And it's a white boy. They'd be like, "What?"
I know interracial stuff was still very like scandalous in the 80s. Now
Yeah.
that I'm thinking about, well, no, because
Yeah.
I mean there are lots of stories about people who even in the 80s were still doing movies, but they didn't necessarily want like an interracial couple.
Very odd in the 80s.
Very odd. Unless it was pivotal to the story,
Yeah.
it was not happening. Now it's so much better.
Like,
And
oh yeah,
people
you
are
see
like,
it all the time now.
yeah, and it's perfectly natural, and you're like, yeah, of course. But like in the 80s, if there was just the
I
lovely
can't
couple
even
who lived next
think of
door,
an 80s movie where it was. Well, you had the Long Duck Dong in 16 Candles. He dated the white girl.
that doesn't count because it's not
Sexy
long term.
lady. Oh yeah, it wasn't long term. Yeah, I can't think.
One night things, sure. Like everybody's like, it's fine if you get a taste, but it better not be the meal. Like that was the kind of the feel for interracial relationships unless the interracial relationship was the source of the drama for the movie.
Even
Then
the
that's fine.
90s didn't show a lot. I can't even
No.
think. There were a lot more ethnicities brought into more movie. Like there were a lot
Ethnicities.
more. Yeah, sorry. But it was like black couples, Latino
Yeah.
couples, but it was never really.
You never
Yeah.
had like your friends was like a black guy and a white girl, or you know, a Latina and an Asian guy.
Yeah.
You know, it was there was no like these are just who's there,
Yeah.
which was weird. If there was an Asian guy, always paired with an Asian girl.
Yeah.
Black guy, black girl. White guy, white girl. If you really wanted to get spicy, white guy with a very, very light Latina.
Hmm.
Like someone who did not
Puerto
look.
Rican.
Yeah. Or like almost, I don't want to say white passing because a lot of Latin America was settled by like the Spaniards. And so a lot of them look like me. So it's a weird thing that they have where it's like, because there's a lot of colorism in Latin America. So the lighter you are, kind of closer you are to the conquistadors.
Yeah.
It's almost like a better social stand. It's the weirdest. I'm like, that's problematic. But nobody looks indigenous. Like, also
No.
indigenous people, not even a thing. Like First Nations, none of that. Unless there was a joke to be made. It's the
Yeah.
only way they made it into, or unless you did like Wind Talkers. When did that movie come out?
Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
What a great movie. I remember it being a great movie.
I remember it being a great movie too.
Yeah.
But I mean, that came out in 2002.
Yeah.
I really want to look into like indigenous, but you had the occasional indigenous person.
Yeah.
Like they popped up, but very
Yeah.
rarely. Ooh, Young Guns. I forgot about that movie.
Love Young Guns. We're just
Yeah.
talking. My wife said it was a bad movie. Like,
Was it though? I remember
No.
liking it.
it was an awesome movie. What? Emilio Estevez, Lou
Charlie
Diamond
Sheen,
Phillips,
Lou Diamond Phillips.
Kiefer Sutherland.
We should put that on the list
Yeah, we should put it on the list. That was a great
because
movie.
I remember really liking that movie. Now,
Might not
I'm
be now,
concerned. It might not be now, but I mean,
but I remember it being awesome.
But yeah, no. So while there is a lot of ethnic diversity, there's still a lot of groupings.
Yes.
And like that one review said, this really is a white savior because it took the little white woman coaching this team before it got good.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I said when we were watching. It's like a more bubblegum flavored Dangerous Minds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Valid. Also, can we talk about the dancing drills montage of training?
And true to 80s fashion. Yeah.
It's like
montages, music
it was
montages.
a really
Weird
fucking-
one.
It was weird because I was like, are they like, I know she put on the music, but I was like, is this a dance sequence? Are they running drills? Like, I don't know what the fuck is happening.
I think it's just to be
Calisthenics?
there.
Like, I was just like, what? And then I was like, fine. It's a little cringe, but I mean, it's kind of fun. They seem to be having fun. It feels fun. And then there was a party and LL Cool J was
Was LL Cool J in there?
Yes, he's the rapper at the party.
That's LL Cool J?
That's
Shit, I
LL
didn't
Cool
even know that.
J. That's 1986 LL Cool
LL
J.
Cool J. I was very young.
Because the ladies love Cool James.
Yeah.
No, I was like, ooh, hello, LL.
So
It's
even
nice to
LL
see
Cool
you.
J was in this movie. We've done a lot of
Yes.
LL Cool J movies.
Here's honestly, I was like, hello, LL Cool J. I had another
And
one of
then
the movies.
this it's very predictable. A bunch of bad things happen. Like there's the party and the daughter gets hurt, and then she gets drunk at the big party at the school, and Wesley Snipes and his girlfriend drive her home so she doesn't get in trouble. But then they start doing it on the couch.
They start
And
doing
the
it.
dad walks in.
But also, did nobody think, hey, did Wesley Snipes not say to his girlfriend, hey, can you run upstairs?
Yeah.
And let coach know we're taking her daughter home because she doesn't feel well. She's real tired. Nobody
Yeah.
thought to do that. They just kidnapped the little white girl.
Yeah, just took a white girl in the hood.
And then she calls the dad being all like, I'm not going to that stupid private school. Let me tell
Yeah.
you all the ways you suck.
Because the dad was like, okay, I won't try to take the kids, but you got to come to this like really private school and teach there. And yeah,
Teach jazzercise.
then they jazzercise. Then they end up in court because the dad wants custody, and the court thing goes pretty bad.
Her lawyer is shit.
Yeah, he's not a very good lawyer, and he's a recognizable face. You recognize him
He
as well.
Yes.
Like the amount of people you're recognizing in this fucking movie is
There's a lot of people
astounding.
who pop up, and there's also a lot of people where you see them and you're like, I know your face.
Yeah.
I know it. And then it takes you a while, and then you look them up and you're like, oh my God.
And then she finally gives in because she wants custody of her kids, and she'll just finish this year at Central, and she'll go do the private school. And the whole team gets bummed out. They're at the final game. They are losing because their coach is abandoning them, and she's like,
hold on, they're not losing because they're a little disheartened.
Yeah.
But also because they're playing against douchebag coach from Preston.
Yeah, they aren't playing very fair.
And I made this is the longest montage of bad football ever.
Yeah, another
It
montage.
felt like I watched an entire quarter. Like I was like, guys, really? And there's people stepping on hands.
Yeah.
There's people getting tripped and no calls. I was like, what the fuck are
And then they
these,
show
like-
Goldie Hawn being all disappointed. I'm like,
Yeah, 'cause
fucking
she's like,
talk to the ref. Challenge the play.
Get angry.
Yeah, that's
You're
why
yelling,
women
do
shouldn't be
something.
coaching football.
Yo, fuck you, man. Fuck you. I'm gonna tell you right now, if I was on the sidelines of that game, I would have been losing my shit and I probably would have been ejected because I would have been like, the fuck is wrong with you? He just stepped on his hands.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It wasn't being like hidden or
No,
anything. They were doing
none
it
of it was
pretty
low key.
obviously.
None of it was low key. It was all very like, and I was like, the fuck? There, no refs blowing whistles, no stoppage of anything, just image after image after image of them getting their asses kicked and literally beaten on top of that. And I was like, then there's, a halftime conversation.
Yeah, where
that
she's like,
Goldie Hawn has with herself.
Yeah.
That was great. She's like, you guys are disappointed. I'm giving you the plays, but you're not executing them. And then she's like, what, you think I quit? Da-da-da. And then all of a sudden she just walks away and then the team follows her.
Yep.
And,
Finds her
she-
ex-husband.
and yells at him while sitting on some lady's lap.
Yeah. Yeah, that was weird.
I was like,
And she decides that she's not going to quit. She's going to stay there. And if you want to go to court, what'd she say? We'll go to the Supreme Court or whatever
Yeah.
she said.
and then she's like, I don't want to be a or I don't want my kids to be quitters or something like that. I don't
Then
want to
he-
be a quitter.
He changes his mind. He's like, okay, you don't have to. I won't take you to court. And then they go back for the second half and they start winning.
Oh, also during her entire speech where she's like, this is what's going to happen. She tells him he has to cheer during the second half.
Right.
And so he's cheering. He's very excited. He's very, very enthused. He's
Yeah.
ready to go. And his girlfriend, Stephanie, is like, you don't have to cheer. He's like, it's a good game. And I was like, oh, Stephanie, you're about to get dumped real quick.
And surprise, surprise, they win. They
It's
win.
amazing.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
but wait, we didn't talk about one of my favorite characters in the entire movie.
Finch,
Yes. I love that kid.
the guy who sells all the papers.
Yeah, he
so they
sells the
get better
papers. He
grades.
doesn't do anything for free,
No,
and I appreciate him for that. I'm like, you get your money, boy. Get it.
but then the other coach calls him fat.
Well,
So
that's I
he's-
think a really big trigger for him. If someone calls him fat, he's ready to
offers
take
he offers Goldie Hawn, the coach, $10 if she'll let him play.
That was awesome. 15. It goes digging into his jockstrap.
And of course, the other coach is humiliated and thrown in the mud, and she wins, and everyone's happy, and it's very predictable. And that's
super
pretty much
predictable.
That's pretty much our movie.
Yes.
Now, all right, what's your score for this movie?
This is a complicated score. And here's why. I had to rent this movie because fuck you, Crave, only available in French.
Oh yeah, your Crave only had it in French.
Fuckers. So I rented the movie for $4.99, and I'm not mad at the price. I was like, it was an enjoyable movie. It wasn't the greatest. There are a lot of stereotypes. There's a stupid amount of misogyny, but this is also 1986, and we're still dealing with misogyny now. So, I mean, it's still very topical. But there are certain choices that were made in direction and editing that make this movie lag a little bit. And it doesn't move quite at the right pace. I do think it is rewatchable. Would I want to pay to rewatch it? No. So I'm going to give it like a strong stream or a super discounted buy. And this sounds weird, and I know. We're going to go super discounted buy because this is a movie you can watch several times and you can make fun of and you can enjoy some of the jokes. And it is very, very dated, but it's also very, very nostalgic. But it still leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy inside after the movie's done. Like all underdog sports movies. Like if this was for sale for like $1.99, I'd buy it 100%. And every once in a while I'd pull it out when I'm having like a sports movie marathon and I throw it into the mix. This would be the movie where if I'm feeling super tired and I might fall asleep for a nap, this is the movie I'd watch. Because you don't miss anything.
No.
There's nothing revolutionary about this movie, but it's still overall a fun watch. It's just it has some parts that lag. But it still makes you feel good at the end, and the right people win. The people who want it, the people who deserve it, and douchebag coach gets thrown in the mud and then has a tantrum, which I always appreciate. So super discounted buy, which kind of leans towards stream, but this is complicated for me because I like it. I will rewatch it at some point. I don't think it's I wouldn't pay full price for it though. You know what I mean? Yeah. So discounted buy. Super discounted buy. Does that count? Yeah.
So you put it above rental.
I put it above rental.
Okay.
Because I would rewatch this again. I would. It's not the greatest, but it's a fun little watch.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, go ahead.
I will rewatch this again because I fucking bought it. I bought it on just Apple. It was
okay.
$9.99, $10.
That was the purchase price on Prime as well.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? It's got Woody Harrelson, Wesley Snipes. I love Goldie Hawn, and then I'm not angry that I bought it because I will watch it again. One, I have to. My math is $5 a rental, $4 a rental, whatever. I have to watch it at least one more time to break even. And I'm kind of in the same boat as you. If you remember, like in Wildcats, you will enjoy it. This is not a laugh out loud movie. No. This is just a fun watch. This is one where you could check your phone while you're watching. You're not going to miss anything. You don't even have to pause it to go get a drink, to go get a snack, to go to the bathroom, let it play. It's that type of movie. But it does have a lot of, like you said, a lot of nostalgia. A
So
lot
much
of
nostalgia.
silliness, a lot of smiles.
Yes.
Like when
Some
you see Goldie,
giggles.
yeah, Goldie Hawn titties brings a smile to my face. When she's in her
You
booty
just had
shorts.
to perv it up, didn't you?
When she's in
You-
her booty shorts.
You couldn't keep your perv tucked away. You had to let him show up.
But no, it's like it's not a laugh out loud funny movie at all. But it is enjoyable. Like you said, the right thing happens, the right people win. And we talked about it deserves its R rating, but it doesn't feel overly raunchy.
Yeah.
It feels very family R rated, if that makes any sense. It's weird. It's weird. But yeah, I will watch it again. I would say stream it. It's an enjoyable stream, much like The Cutting Edge.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable stream where I was hoping for more for this movie, but I will watch it again. And if you really remember liking it, you're like, oh shit, Wildcats. You won't be disappointed if you rent it. If you paid like $15-20, you might be disappointed.
Oh, 100%.
If you buy like a special edition Blu-ray for $30 or whatever, you'll be disappointed.
Yeah.
But a stream, you won't be disappointed. It'll back to 1986. It's very, like you said, nostalgic. Very nostalgic. That rap at the end, where each player takes
So
a turn
worth it.
rapping.
And then Goldie Hawn just comes in with
She's got
football,
one lyric and one tone, like one, football.
football. So, and then and sometimes she's always offbeat. And then she gets it one time and she's like, I got it. Honestly, that was probably it was just the cutest part. So cute. But I think it's also, if you're a really big fan of sports movies in general, and you especially love like the underdog team, like coming up and, getting what they deserve and winning, then this is something you will like.
Yeah, this isn't the best sports movie out
No.
there by any stretch of the means. But yeah, you're like, it's an all right casual
When was the
viewing.
last time you watched Remember the Titans?
That was a good movie.
I remember it being really good. When was the last time you watched it?
A long time ago.
Cool. Can we
Now,
put that on
who
the
is
list
that
too?
one? Is that Matthew
Denzel.
McConaughey? Denzel.
Remember the Titans? Denzel.
Matthew McConaughey was the one where they all die. And he has
Yes.
to start from scratch. That was a good one too.
Remember Marshall? Remembering Marshall?
We Are Marshall.
We Are Marshall. There we
Yeah,
go.
so many good sports movies.
I
Yeah,
haven't seen
Remember
that
the
one in
Titans is
forever.
good. Yeah,
Rudy. I haven't
yeah.
seen that in forever. We
Unnecessary
should do.
Roughness or Necessary Roughness with Scott Bakula and Sinbad.
Oh God.
The one where they're the shitty fucking football
I
team.
forgot that movie existed.
That was a great movie. I remember it being great.
Yeah.
Which we got Keanu Reeves and Gene Hackman, the late great Gene Hackman. Replacements.
Yep.
Yeah. No, there's so many great sports. Field of Dreams.
So many. We should do a sports month.
Yeah. Yeah, just a bunch of them. Bad News
Yeah.
Bears. Yeah, we've done the sports movies we've done have been pretty good. Like even Sandlot.
Yeah. Yeah, we liked Sandlot.
Major League. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. I told someone the other day that we watched Major League for the podcast.
Yeah.
And they were like,
great.
so what are your thoughts? And I was like, still really funny.
Yeah.
Still great.
Yeah, this the Wildcats isn't as good as Major League.
No, not even close.
No.
But it's a nice,
But it's
comforting
all right.
little movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? It's one of those, like, I think if you bought this movie for $5,
You wouldn't be, be all right.
you wouldn't be mad about it. That's a good price to buy it.
Like
Would I pay
$10.
You're bordering on I don't want to.
But $5.
15 is a fuck no. But $5, yeah.
$5,
I'd
yeah.
buy this for $5. And then every once in a while, when you have to do something and you want something to kind of entertain you, to make you smile and kind of make you feel like, oh, the world doesn't totally suck. You put this on while you're doing the stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
And-
Folding
and you-
fucking laundry,
and you
cooking
watch
dinner,
the
whatever. Yeah. it's
dancing
fine.
drills montage.
Yeah. Seeing
you
the young Wesley
giggle.
Snipes and Woody Harrelson. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
We paused. Yeah. We froze
Did
for
I
a second,
pause?
for a hot second there.
Oh,
But yeah, excuse me. It's one of those movies. It's one of those movies that you're just kind of like, this is nice. Then you just kind of move on with your life. Like,
All right. So a happy stream and a super discount buy.
yes.
We're on a roll this year so far. We have not really had a movie. Hey, this might come to a
Yeah.
screeching halt for our next movie. I think I made a mistake. This might be a Steel Dawn mistake.
Wait, this is another movie that I have not seen, but you remember loving.
This is a Jimmy pick. But it's by a director called Walter Hill. And Walter Hill, for those that don't know, has made some of my favorite movies as a child. He has made, let's say, Trespass with Ice Cube, Ice-T, and what's his name there? Sorry. It's the one where they go searching for the gold in the house. Will Paxton and William Sadler.
Okay.
Bill Paxton, sorry. Great movie. He also made 48 Hours.
Okay, yeah.
He also made Last Man Standing with oh my God. Die Hard. Bruce Willis. Jesus Christ. Crossroads with Ralph Macchio. Brewster's Millions with John Candy and Richard Pryor. He made The Warriors, one of my all-time favorite movies. That's the gang movie.
I have not seen that since the early 90s.
He made a movie. He made Extreme Prejudice. He made Red Heat, which we have. He's made a lot of great, iconic 80s movies and 90s movies. This movie, I think I may have made a mistake, and I remember as a kid watching this and liking it. I think.
Oh Lord!
And let me give you a little bit of history. For some reason, as a when I was a kid, like this movie has Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, William Dafoe. It has, and it also Bill Paxton, a couple Lee Vin, tons of people, but it also stars Michael Pare. And when I was a kid, my mom and dad and my aunt and uncle, like the aunt and uncle that did everything with us type thing, watched movies, loved Michael Pare. I remember the Philadelphia Experiment with Michael Pare, where they're in the 60s or something, and they come to the 80s. They've a time warp to the 80s on some sort of war movie. They loved Eddie and the Cruisers, the rock and roll movie, and they loved this movie. Michael Pare was huge for a little bit in the 80s. I think this is a musical. Not 100% sure, but I think it's a musical. And it's a gangland musical, I think. And I just remember liking it. And then the more I looked at it, I'm like, might not. I might not like it.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
So there is a special edition on Shout Factory. Shout out to Shout Factory. So let's watch. You've never seen it.
I've never seen it. I don't think.
I remember it's Diane Lane is a rock star. She's kidnapped by this weird gang leader, William Dafoe. Michael Pare, I don't know if he's hired to go get her or he's the boyfriend, and they go into this gang area that no one goes into to try to retrieve her. Sounds cool. But I don't. It might be cool.
Maybe.
It might not be. All right, so let's take down the banner. Let's share the screen. Let's watch the trailer and then make our predictions. All right, there it is. All right, ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
I'll be coming for her, and I'll be coming for you too.
Sure you will. And I'll be waiting.
You are about to enter a world unlike any you've ever seen before, where rock and roll is king. The only law is a loaded gun. Where the beautiful,
stay and see the show. It's really good.
the brutal,
I want Tom Cody.
and the brave all meet
From now on, it's for real.
in Streets of Fire.
You're lying in your bed and on a Saturday night, you're sweating buckets and it's not even hard. But your brain has got the message and it's sending it out to every nerve and every muscle you got. You've got so many dreams that you don't know where to put them, so you better turn the fuel on loose. Your body's got a feeling that it's starting to rust. You better rev it up roll. You go down on the pedal and you're ready to roll. That's what speed, it's all you ever need, all you ever need to know. Darling, darling, you and me, we're going nowhere slowly. And we gotta get away from the past. There's nothing wrong with going nowhere, baby. But we should be going nowhere fast. Everybody's going nowhere slowly. They're only fighting for the chance to be last. There's nothing wrong with going nowhere, baby. But we should be going nowhere fast. It's so much better going nowhere fast.
Now, from the creators of 48 Hours, Universal Pictures presents Michael Paré, Diane Lane, Rick Moranis, and Amy Madigan in a Walter Hill film, Streets of Fire.
Wow.
That trailer was mostly song.
It was almost all song,
Yeah.
like a music video.
Yeah. Yeah. A little concerning.
It wasn't
Little
the
bit.
high action gang movie I was thinking in my head. And as I got closer, I'm like, oh no.
See, but when I saw Michael Paré, I was like, oh, I remember him.
He was great, and he's
He was
actually
hot.
he's still working.
acting a lot. Yeah.
He made a
But it-
great werewolf movie in the 90s, and he made a great movie with Michael C. Hall. Was that the kid from 16 Candles?
Yeah.
And Vacation? Yeah, about an actor that wants to do like a Top Gun movie,
Yeah.
and he goes and trains with actual Top Guns, and Michael C. Hall is the actual actor, and Michael Paré is the actual Maverick guy.
Nice.
But this movie, I mean, Elizabeth Daly is in this, and if you don't know who that is, she played Dottie from Pee-wee's Big Adventure, the little girl that liked Pee-wee Herman. Bill Paxton, Richard Lawson, Amy Madigan, I forgot was in it, Rick Moranis, William Dafoe, Diane Lane, and Michael Paré is a very good. I really liked his movies as a kid. Mostly like my parents were watching it, so we had to watch it. But yeah, so I don't know.
It was funny though, because when you see him in this trailer, I was like, okay, either I have seen this movie, or he dresses like that and holds a very large gun in another movie.
In another movie, yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know if I'm confusing, but I do not remember watching this movie ever, and I feel like I would have. So I'm very intrigued to see what this movie is, especially since you now have a suspicion that it might be a musical.
Yeah, I think. And with that trailer, this is the first time I watched this trailer.
Yeah.
It looks like music it obviously plays a big role in this movie.
I am very interested to see what the soundtrack is like.
It's either going to be really cool, nostalgic, surprisingly gang, because William Dafoe is awesome. I love William Dafoe. And it's going to be kind of cool, ahead of its time type thing, which is great, or it's going to be really bad, which is also great.
I do enjoy a really bad movie, so
I'm very, this isn't the clear-cut Mad Max action-packed movie that I thought it was. This is a very music-heavy, but there does look to be a lot of action, a lot of bikes exploding and people getting shot at and punched in the face, probably by rocking out. I don't know. We will find out.
I'm excited to watch this.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if I'm going to buy it. This might be a hopefully find it stream or at least rent it before I
I think that's a good
buy
plan,
it.
my friends. That's a good plan. That's a very good plan.
All right. So when we get back, come back next week, we will take a look at Streets of Fire with Michael Paré. All right. Well, yeah. Anything else about Wildcats?
No, I think we covered it all.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we had a enjoyable stream, and a very heavily discounted buy it if you can buy it for under $5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$5 and under. I think $5 is my max for what I would pay for this movie. But I do think it is a very rewatchable movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. It's not gonna be anytime soon. Like I'm not gonna like. Oh, I know what I should watch tonight. Fucking Wildcats. It's not that type of movie. This is like a few years from now. Going, oh fuck, I bought Wildcats a couple years ago. I should watch it again. All right. Well, thanks for coming back to 1986 and watching Wildcats. And yeah, until the next movie we remember liking.
And now, folks, it's time to say goodnight. We sincerely appreciate your patronage and hope we've succeeded in bringing you an enjoyable evening of entertainment. Please drive home carefully and come back again soon. Good night.